Good morning. What's up with you guys? Today is number 2, and I woke up this morning feeling super tired. I'm not sure, yesterday wasn't actually that bad. I didn't really feel tired. I didn't have any, I guess you could call them hunger pains. I didn't really have any cravings. But today, since yesterday was a successful low carb day, high fat, today I woke up super tired, regardless of getting really good rest. So I'm gonna check my blood ketone levels. Hopefully they're a little bit higher than yesterday. Pretty much anything's gonna be higher than 0.1. So at least, hopefully I just get a 0.2. If you guys don't know how to use a lancet, it's really easy. You take the top off, and that's where you put your needle. You take the protective layer off of the needle, and you just pull that down to cock it back, and you push this in. Once you push that in, that's when you kind of twist the protective layer off of the needle, and it's exposed and ready to prick you, which I freaking hate. I hate it so much. I usually do level 6 on here. That should be deep enough to kind of get inside the finger. Another thing is hit the side of the finger. Don't go in the middle. It's so much more painful when you do the middle. With these, you just rip at those areas, exposing your ketone stick. Don't touch the black stuff. There's powder on there, and you just turn your device on. It will kind of tell you that it's waiting for blood. You just stick this in, and then it's gonna ask for a drop of blood after it measures. My battery's getting low though, so that could be important. So this is already cocked back. I stick the lid back in. Oh shit, I accidentally cocked it. So cock it again. I hate this. Oh god. I hate that every single time. Every single time. I hope this is recording, because I ain't gonna do this again. I hope there's enough blood too. I hate when I have to do it all over again. Alright. So, anyways, as this is kind of reading, you can see the countdown down there. I feel pretty damn tired today. So, ooh, shit. Oh, that's not 0.5, that's 0.2. Because the video's backwards, I thought it was 0.5. That was pretty good. So my ketones are higher, which means my glucose is lower, which is a good thing. But because I'm running low on glucose, I'm running low on energy, because my body's so used to burning carbs for energy and not ketones. So it's gonna take maybe a week until I start feeling better, but I knew that going into this, and I hope you guys know that going into your journey. It's completely normal for you to feel tired, and no, that doesn't mean that maybe keto isn't for you. Don't be a quitter. Just finish the 30 days. You'll be okay. So now I gotta go get coffee, because I don't have any coffee. So instead of having keto coffee, I'm just gonna have normal unsweetened coffee from Starbucks, and I'm gonna bring my own heavy whipping cream, because they always load too much of it. So all right guys, so just want to show you what I did at Starbucks. It's really easy. You just get an iced venti unsweetened coffee. You have to make sure it's unsweetened. I didn't know this for many years, but they, at least in a venti, they put 6 pumps of liquid cane sugar in here. So you're gonna have to make sure it's unsweetened. So it's called No Classic. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not. However, depending on the Starbucks and the barista, they may or may not put a whole thing of heavy whipping cream in there when you ask. So I know it's a little ridiculous, but I brought my own pasture-raised heavy whipping cream from home. I don't want to go out to Starbucks every day regardless, so it's not a big deal that I had to bring this. But this is exactly 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. And I've never done this before, but I'm not sure if 2 tablespoons will be enough for a venti. I think it will. It doesn't look like it, but the thing about heavy whipping cream is it goes a long ways, like crazy long ways. So what I'm gonna try to do is stir this up and see the color, because that will let us know if it's enough. So it's pretty dark still, but once you mix it up, it's perfect color. So instead of them putting a 1/4 cup or 1/2 cup of heavy cream, just 2 tablespoons goes a long way. Alright guys, just wanted to show you something that you might be interested in. During the first few weeks, possibly just the first 7 days of your keto adaptation diet, you're gonna get a little bit lethargic, as we talked about. Those are some of the physical symptoms, and then some of the hunger pains that might arise just because you're going to be going through withdrawals from sugar and get those cravings. This might be a good way to either pick up your energy or suppress your appetite. So caffeine is a great appetite suppressant. It's a natural stimulant you're allowed to use, but you don't want to overdose on it. A lot of people have too much caffeine on a daily basis. It causes digestive issues, a lot of bad symptoms. So you usually don't want to exceed 300 milligrams of sodium, 300 milligrams of caffeine a day. This does have 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is quite a bit, in addition to your keto coffee in the morning, or if you have any tea. I'm not sure what your diet consists of, but the point I'm trying to make is this is a 0-calorie sugar-free option that's super tasty. We sell them at the 24 Fitness locations nationwide. So if you want to give them a try, definitely try peach mango, maybe the lemon drop one, or even the pina colada is pretty tasty during the summertime. I drink maybe 3 of these a day, and so I'm not a great example of limiting your caffeine intake. It's something that I'm working on in addition to getting my weight down with this whole keto diet. But my main focus right now during this first week is just to keep my energy high for work. That can't really be affected. I'm also trying to suppress any sugar cravings that I'm going to go through on this, at least probably first 7 days out of the 30-day challenge. It's only, I don't know, like 10 a.m. on the second day, so I haven't had any cravings yet, but I feel like maybe tonight or tomorrow I might start having some of those cravings, so we'll see. But give these a try if you haven't seen these yet. Okay, first meal of the day. Got the same stuff pretty much as yesterday. I think instead of beef, this is the fatty cut of pork, but I'll have to double check. But it's just broccoli, have some olive oil on that, really fatty cut of pasture-raised pork. This cheese and pepperoni have quite a bit of sugars in it, maybe 2 to 4 grams collectively, so not the best option, not pasture-raised, but it's okay. Okay guys, there's a few things I wanted to mention that I forgot to talk about earlier. Was you might experience on the first few days that you're going to the bathroom a lot. Not number 2, but more so number 1. And if you're trying to figure out why you have to pee a lot and what's going on, and this, you know, wasn't happening before you started this low carb, high fat diet, it's probably because of this. So through my understanding, when you eat carbs, it spikes your insulin, and insulin is a hormone, and it's a hormone in particular that tells your kidneys to store sodium. So when you're having a lot of carbs, you'll be kind of bloated, you look puffy, you know, you're storing a lot of sodium, which will cause water retention. That's why when you do a low carb, high fat diet, within the first few days or even the first week, you drop tons of weight. That's what we call dropping water weight inside of the industry. And so that's where proper hydration to avoid headaches or cramps, and getting enough sodium, potassium, and magnesium, or electrolytes for short, is super important on a ketogenic diet. That's where the keto flu comes from. I'm sure you've either heard of it or researched it, or somebody that has done this low carb, high fat diet before will kind of warn you about. You don't have to experience those symptoms as long as you're drinking plenty of water and getting enough electrolytes. So
the point that I'm trying to make is getting enough water throughout the day, setting little goals, even if it's a reminder, whether it's an alarm on your phone every hour to drink something, is super important. And you guys got to keep in mind that if you're abusing caffeine, sort of like me, that could cause you to need more water, because caffeine will be a diuretic where it dehydrates you further. So make sure you're getting enough water. Have potassium rich foods like spinach, asparagus, broccoli, stuff like that. Avocados are super rich in potassium. Another thing that I wanted to mention was with my dinner tonight, it seems pretty simple, and that's because it is. And a lot of people with their ketogenic cookbooks or maybe certain YouTube channels, they'll try to show you, oh, this is like, my fancy low carb, high fat, ketogenic, paleo, vegan, whatever it is, cupcake, or maybe there'd be some ice cream substitution or whatever it may be. And that's when things start getting a little bit too complicated. So I'm really gonna recommend that you guys go back to basics. Just have some good source of fatty meat, meaning pasture raised, grass fed, grass finished, no antibiotic, no hormone. Have some type of good potassium rich dark leafy green, or some broccoli, cauliflower, mushroom, asparagus, whatever it is. And then a little bit of cheese if you're not sensitive to casein, whey, or lactose. Maybe some nuts, maybe some healthy oils, have some avocado, stay away from fruit. That's really all you guys need. And I know it sounds boring, but eating isn't supposed to be some theatrical, entertaining experience. It's just giving you fuel for your body. And you really need to get out of your head about that. I know some of you guys are gonna be shaking your head right now being like, oh, this guy's an idiot, I don't know, maybe this isn't for me. But when you start trying to make all these baked goods and create these like keto fat bombs and all that stuff, you're kind of trying to have your cake and eat it too. And what I mean by that is you're using a lot of artificial sweeteners, a lot of sugar alcohols. You're kind of getting away from the big picture, which is living a healthy lifestyle. It's not just about having a six-pack and everything like that. It's also about reducing your inflammation, having better clarity where you're not mumbling your words. You guys could probably tell I'm doing that over these last two videos, and that's gonna get corrected here within a week or two. The point I'm trying to make is just simplify it, don't overcomplicate it. No matter what anyone says, you could be creative, and maybe on the weekend, on a day off, you could try some fancy keto bake recipe or something if you're really craving. But I would say 9 times out of 10 you want to stick to the basic stuff. You see my son back there? Bruce! That's my boy. I love that dog. And then probably the last thing just for today's video, because it's getting kind of long, is when you get all of your meats, look at this company called, I think it's called Grassroots Incorporated. Just type Grassroots meats or whatever, and basically what it is, it's a company where you could get all of your pasture raised, not only pasture raised grass-fed beef, which you could find anywhere, even at Fred Meyer, for example, but you can find pasture raised turkeys and chickens, and you could find pigs that live in the forest and not put in these inhumane, nasty, disease infested, commercially farmed warehouses that causes a number of different problems. The point being is when you have a high meat-based diet like this, and you're eating meats rich in fat, typically animal-based protein fats, which is going to be omega-6s and whatnot, to prevent a huge inflammatory response. You want to have meat that is high quality. Don't buy shitty meat, $3 pound of beef that is super full of antibiotics, hormones, and nitrates. Also, if it's been fed, corn and wheat its entire life instead of grass, which is what it's evolved to have as a primary source of their diet, then it's going to get really sick, it's going to get really fat, and if you ingest that, you're going to get really sick and really fat as well. So, I'm not sponsored by that company. And to be honest with you, they're a small farm and they can't mass produce anything, which is a good thing. But whether you're going for that company that I recommended, or you're researching on your own and finding some local farm that's willing to raise these animals humanely, feed them what they're supposed to be fed, give them 16 hours of sunlight, and run on these pastures instead of being stuck in a cage their entire life, never seeing the light of day, then more power to you. So make sure that you guys are buying good quality sources. And if you think it's expensive, you're wrong. You are so wrong. That's one of the biggest myths out there about eating healthy is, oh, it's really expensive. All this organic, non-GMO, pasture-raised, grass-fed bullshit is like eating up my bank account, and you guys are so wrong. I spend maybe for 3 pounds of meat a week, which make 3 different meals, Monday through Friday. I spend, I don't know, I think it was like $55 after tax and shipping. $55 for what? 5 days worth of meals, 5 times 3, that's 15 meals. Guys, that's super cheap. You're spending $10 per meal on teriyaki or $12 per meal on Subway. It's not expensive. It really isn't. And then I spend maybe another $60 a week on produce, with organic, non-GMO based produce, vegetables, unsweetened coconut milk or almond milk or whatever you're doing. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it helped keep you on track today and motivated you. I hope you learned something from it. I know that these videos are helping hold me accountable because I know you guys are looking forward to them. But either way, we're just starting our journey and we still have quite a ways to go. So see you guys tomorrow.